Lesson 19. World Knowledge. Parts of the verb.
How are you, students? Today we are going to talk about the passive. But first, we will review some other verb forms. Let me first test your knowledge of history. Christopher Columbus was a very famous historical figure. Linda, do you know what Christopher Columbus did?
I'm not sure, but he invented America, I think.
Good, Linda, America. But did he invent America?
Oh, I remember now. He discovered America.
Good. So Christopher Columbus discovered America. Do you know something else about him, Sylvia?
He drew a map of the world.
Yes, he did. So he drew a map of the world. Let me ask another question. Alberto, did he fly to America?
No, he didn't. He went to America by boat.
Very good. And what is the verb that we use for that?
Columbus sailed to America.
Very good. Columbus sailed to America. Means he went to America by boat. All right, Sylvia, do you know anything else about him?
He was from Italy.
Good. He was from Italy. Nice one. Anything else?
Well, he spoke Italian.
Very good. He spoke Italian. Yes, he did. And?
The city of Genoa in Italy built a statue for him.
Okay. The city of Genoa in Italy built a statue for him. That's interesting. Alberto, do a lot of people know him?
Yes, everybody knows Columbus.
Right. Everyone knows Christopher Columbus. Anything else, Sylvia?
Italian people love him and they are proud of him because an Italian discovered America.
Very good. So Italian people love Columbus. Is that true, Alberto?
Yes.
Okay. Will people in the future know Columbus, Linda?
Oh yes, people will always remember Columbus.
Very good. People will always remember. All right, good job, everyone. So now we remember Columbus discovered America. He drew a map of the world. Columbus sailed to America. He was from Italy. He spoke Italian. The city of Genoa in Italy built a statue for him. Everyone knows Columbus. Italian people love him, and people will always remember Christopher Columbus. All right, now it's time to look and listen.
Look and listen.
Columbus discovered America. He drew a map of the world. Columbus sailed to America. He was from Italy. He spoke Italian. The city of Genoa built a statue for him.
Read and repeat.
let's look a bit closer at these sentences. We can learn a lot of grammatical information from them. Okay, let us first compare the first 4 sentences. Now, Columbus discovered America. He drew a map of the world. Columbus sailed to America, and he was from Italy. All of the verb forms in these sentences are in the past tense. Linda, which verbs are regular?
Discovered in the first sentence is regular.
All right. Exactly. And how can you see that?
It has ed at the end.
All right, very good. Because it ends in ed. Alberto, do you see any other regular verbs?
Yes, sailed in the third sentence is irregular too.
Good. Sailed is irregular. It also ends in ed. Okay. Sylvia, is drew in the second sentence regular?
No, it is not. It is irregular.
Okay. And how do you know that?
Well, it doesn't have ed at the end.
Okay. And the present tense is draw, right? The past is drew. We changed the word, so we know it's irregular. Okay, any more, Linda?
Was in the fourth sentence is irregular too.
Okay, was. Now let's have a look at sentences 5 and 6. He spoke Italian. The city of Genoa in Italy built a statue for him. Alberto, are the verbs in these sentences regular?
No, I think they are irregular verbs. Spoke and built. Present tense is speak.
Good.
The others is build.
Very good. So these are irregular verbs. Okay, here is some more practice. Are these verbs regular or irregular? And can you make them in their past tense form? Please look at your screen. Linda, you do the first one. We study English.
Okay, we studied English.
We studied English. Good. Alberto, you do the next one. I sleep a lot.
Slept a lot.
I slept a lot. Really? Okay, good. Sylvia, the next one is for you. She goes to school.
She went to school.
Okay, you do the next one too. I like rock music.
I liked rock music.
Great. One more. Alberto. They love Chinese music.
They loved Chinese music.
All right. Great job, everyone. No problem. Easy. Now let's look and listen.
Look and listen.
I feel awful. Thai food tastes delicious. A lot of people travel to Asia. She buys oranges at the supermarket. I find my keys.
Read and repeat.
Now, before we go on, let's review some useful words we have seen. Please take a look at your screen. Here are some nouns. Statue. Most tourists in New York want to see the Statue of Liberty. Okay, next example. Countryman or countrymen. Bill Clinton and George Bush are from the same country. They are countrymen. Next noun is map. Before you go to a city in a foreign country, it is a good idea to buy a map of that city. Now we're going to look at some verbs. First verb is draw. Some people draw pictures. Next verb is discover. Dr. Livingstone was the first person from the West to see Lake Victoria in Africa. He discovered Lake Victoria. Next verb is invent. Galileo Galilei made the very first telescope. He invented the telescope. Next verb is sail. A lot of people like to sail as a hobby because it is a very exciting sport. We will now talk about different forms of verbs. Let's have another look at some of our sentences. Okay, first, Columbus sailed to America. Then the city of Genoa built a statue for him. Of course, Italian people love Columbus, and people will always remember him. Okay, so Columbus sailed to America. The city of Genoa built a statue for him. Italian people love Columbus, and people will always remember Columbus. Linda, do you see a present tense here?
Yes, the third sentence is present. Love is simple present.
That's right. Alberto, are there any sentences in the past?
Yes, the first sentence and the second sentence are past. The past, simple past form, sailed and built.
Okay. Very good. And love is present. Sylvia, what about sentence 4?
It is a future sentence. Will remember is simple future.
Good. Now let's practice. We're going to make all these sentences present, past, and future. We'll fill in the following table. Take a look at your screen. Okay, first, in the present column, we have the sentence, they love Columbus. Linda, you do the first one.
Okay, they love Columbus.
Okay, Alberto, can you change that to the past tense, please?
Okay, they loved Columbus.
All right, and future tense, Sylvia?
They will love Columbus.
All right, Alberto. Next sentence, we have the past tense. He sailed to America. Can you change that to present tense?
Of course, he sails to America.
All right, and Sylvia, the past?
He sailed to America.
Good, and Linda?
He will sail to America.
He will sail to America. Okay. There are more. Linda, please continue.
The city builds a statue.
Good. And Sylvia?
The city built a statue.
Nice. Alberto?
The city will build a statue.
All right. And Alberto, please continue.
People remember him.
Good. Sylvia?
People remembered him.
Very good. Linda, the last one.
People will remember him.
All right. Good job, everyone. Did you notice the present and the future forms are very similar? For example, love changes to will love, and remember changes to will remember. Alberto, do all past verbs end in ed?
No, they don't. There are irregular verbs too.
Very good. Sylvia, do irregular verbs have ed in the ending?
No, they don't. They have special forms in the past.
Can you give me an example of such an irregular past verb?
Present sleep, past slept.
Good. Present sleep, past slept. Good. Okay, and another example, Linda.
Okay. Present draw, past drew.
Very good. Present draw, past drew. Okay, now you're going to put the following short sentences into the past. Take a look at your screen. Present tense, I break the window. Linda, you start.
I broke the window.
Yes, I broke the window. Alberto?
She washed her face every morning.
Good. She washed her face every morning. Okay, they come to school. Sylvia?
They came to school.
They came to school. Good. And the next one, Sylvia, I give her a present for her birthday.
I gave her a present for her birthday.
Very good. I gave her a present for her birthday. Linda, she smiles a lot.
She smiled a lot.
Good. She smiled a lot. You do the next one too. A lot of people watch TV.
A lot of people watched TV.
A lot of people watched TV. Okay, Sylvia, we leave work at 6 p.m.
We left work at 6 p.m.
We left work at 6 p.m. Excellent. Let's see, Alberto, last one. He reads the newspaper every day.
He read the newspaper every day.
Good. He read the newspaper every day. Another irregular verb. All right, now it's time to look and listen.
Look and listen.
Microsoft invents new technology every year. Technology changes our world very often. Thomas Edison invented the light bulb. We use light bulbs every day. John draws on the computer. He drew some beautiful pictures on the computer.
Read and repeat. The passive.
Okay, we're going to look at some vocabulary now. Please follow along on your screen. We have some nouns. First one is cotton. In very hot weather, it is a good idea to wear cotton clothes because they are very light. Okay, next noun is rice. People in Europe eat a lot of potatoes, but people in Eastern Asia usually eat rice. Next noun is railway. Some countries have a good railway system with a lot of railway lines. Okay, next noun is government. Every country has a government that makes important decisions for the country. We also have a play. I went to the theater last night. I saw a very funny play. It was a comedy. Next noun we will learn is century. We live in the 21st century. Okay, now we need to learn some verbs. First verb, to protect. A mother wants to protect her children. Or, sun lotion protects your skin from the sun. Next verb is to grow. Young children grow very fast. A lot of farmers in China grow rice. Our next verb is to compare. When we compare India and Russia, we can see that Russia is bigger than India, but India has more people than Russia. Okay, now let's talk about the third part of the verb, the past participle. Some grammar books call it verb 3. We will learn how to form it and when to use it. So it's the past participle we want to look at now, also known as verb 3. Now let's go back to 2 sentences we wrote down earlier. We said Columbus discovered America. Remember? We also said Columbus drew a map of the world. Linda, could you read the first sentence?
Columbus discovered America.
Thank you. In this sentence, the names Columbus and America are both very important information. Now, suppose we are talking about America, not about Columbus. The name Columbus is not important, so we don't have to use it in the sentence. Instead, we can talk about the year of the discovery. For example, we can say, America, and then we need discover, then we need in 1492. Now we want to write a sentence starting with the word America. Alberto, can I say America discovered in 1492?
No, you can't.
That's right. Now let me ask you, did America do the action of discovering?
No, Columbus did the action. Columbus discovered America.
Okay. America and discovered. So can we say America discovered?
Of course not. America didn't discover anything.
Exactly. So we can't use that. Now, in this sentence, is America the subject or the object, Linda?
America is the object and Columbus is the subject.
Very good. Okay, Columbus is the subject because he does the action. America is the object because it's what Columbus discovered. Now, Sylvia, which one always comes first in an English sentence, the subject or the object?
The object always comes first.
Are you sure, Sylvia?
Yes, I'm sure.
The object always comes first?
I'm sorry, the subject always comes first.
Okay.
Comes first.
Now, if we start our new sentence with America, America will be the subject, but we have to change the verb. So we have to use the passive verb form. Okay? So, let's look at this new sentence. America was discovered in 1492. This is a passive sentence. So America was discovered in 1492. Now, let me ask you again. Who did the action of discovering? America or Columbus? Sylvia?
Columbus discovered America.
Good. So Columbus discovered America. We call this sentence active. Okay, the passive is a new verb form for you, but it is logical. Can you fill in active and passive in the following table? Take a look at your screen. So if the subject of the action, the sentence is, what do you think, Alberto?
The sentence is active.
Very good. And if the sentence starts with the object of the action, the sentence is what, Alberto?
The sentence is passive.
Good. Now let's look at them again with some examples. All right, so remember, if the sentence starts with the subject of the action, the sentence is active. Example, Columbus discovered America. So Columbus is the subject. We're starting with the subject, so it's an active sentence. Now, if the sentence starts with the object of the action, the sentence is passive. Example, America was discovered in 1492. In this one, America is the object, and we're starting with the object in this sentence. So that's why it's passive. Okay, let's look at the second sentence. Can you read it, Linda?
Columbus drew a map of the world.
So who did the action of drawing, Columbus or a map?
Columbus did the action, so Columbus is the subject.
All right, so Sylvia, is this an active or a passive sentence?
It is an active sentence.
Right, now let's try to say a passive sentence. Alberto, you start.
A map of the world was.
Very good. A map of the world was. That's the object, so we have to start with that. Can you complete the sentence, Alberto?
A map of the world was drawn by Columbus.
Yes. Now, drawn is a special form of the verb to draw. It's our past participle of draw, our verb 3. Is to draw a regular verb, Sylvia?
It is an irregular verb.
Okay, yes, to draw is irregular, so the past participle is irregular too. And what about the past participle in the first sentence, Linda? Discover.
To discover is a regular verb, so the past participle is regular too.
Yes, and how can you see that it's regular, Linda?
That's easy. It ends in ed.
Now let's look at a chart of active and passive forms of the verbs. For the past, simple past, regular verbs, we add ed. For simple past, irregular verbs, we have a special form. In the passive, we have the verb to be plus the past participle for regular verbs ending in ed. And we have the verb to be plus the participle. For irregular verbs, we have a special form. In the passive, the verb be can be in any form, any tense. When we change a sentence from active to passive, we have to understand the parts of the sentence. For example, we can write, look at your screen, Columbus discovered America. In this sentence, the subject is Columbus and the object is America. And when we make this sentence passive, we make the object into the subject. And then we change the verb. So it becomes, America was discovered. Now we have to do something with Columbus. For this, we use by. By is called the agent. Who or what did the action? The by agent. So we can say, America was discovered by Columbus. Now let's practice. I will give you a sentence and you make it passive. Linda, you start. Your sentence is, the pharaohs built the pyramids 5,000 years ago.
The pyramids were built 5,000 years ago by the pharaohs.
Good job. Okay, Sylvia, the next one is for you. In the 19th century, a lot of people spoke French.
In the 19th century, French was spoken by a lot of people.
Great. Now, Alberto, one for you. Before 1900, people didn't know the dangers of bacteria.
Before 1900, the dangers of bacteria were not known.
Okay. And do we need to say by people?
I don't think so. Animals don't care.
Good. So we don't always use the agent, meaning the by part of the sentence, because it is not necessary or we don't know. All right, good job, everyone. Now it's time for look and listen to be heard by you.
Look and listen.
Thomas Edison invented the gramophone. The gramophone was invented by Thomas Edison. William Shakespeare wrote the play Macbeth around 1605. The play Macbeth was written around 1605. The play Macbeth was written by Shakespeare.
Read and repeat.
Now let's have a look at present, past, and future. Let's take a look at this sentence. Last year, the government built a new railway line. Okay, last year the government built a new railway line. Is this an active or a passive sentence, Alberto?
It's an active sentence because the government did the action.
Very good. It's an active sentence. Okay, is it about the past, the present, or the future, Sylvia?
It is a past sentence.
Exactly. Could you write a present sentence, Sylvia?
Okay. Every year, the government builds new railway lines.
Every year, the government builds new railway lines. Good. And how about a future one, Linda?
Next year, the government will build a new railway line.
Next year, the government will build a new railway line. All right. Now, let's make all of our sentences passive. Of course, we have to use different tenses for the passive. Sylvia, in your first sentence, what is the subject of the action? This first sentence.
The government, because they do the action.
Okay, and what is the object of the action?
The object of the action is a new railway line. So the passive sentence has to start with this.
Good. So a new railway line. Okay, for our passive sentence, we'll start with that. Alberto, could you put this sentence in the passive, please?
A new railway line was built by the government last year.
By the government last year. Okay, so our passive sentence is a new railway line was built. by the government last year. Okay, can you put last year at the beginning?
Yes, of course. Last year, a new railway line was built by the government.
Yes, it's the same sentence. Good. Okay, what form is was?
It is past or to be.
And built?
It is past participle of build.
Past what?
Past participle.
Great. Now for the second sentence, will we use was, Linda?
Maybe we can use the present of to be.
All right. And what is the object of our sentence?
New railway lines are.
Okay, so we need to start with the object to make the passive sentence. New railway lines are. Do we need a past participle?
Yes, because we're making a passive sentence.
Okay, so
New railway lines are built by the government every year.
very good. By the government every year. Okay, this is our second passive sentence. Okay, new railway lines are built by the government every year. Okay, Sylvia, can you do the future sentence? It is very logical.
The future of was is will be, and the past participle is the same, built. So next year, a new railway line will be built by the government.
Good. Next year, we use our object as our subject, so a new railway line will be built by the government. Okay, our third passive sentence. Now let's review our work. Our first active sentence. Last year, the government built a new railway line in the past tense. Now we're changing it to a passive and it becomes a new railway line was built by the government last year. Our next active sentence in the present tense. Every year, the government builds new railway lines. Our active sentence is changed into the passive and becomes new railway lines are built by the government every year. Our third sentence is in the future. Active sentence is next year the government will build a new railway line. Changed into the passive, it becomes next year a new railway line will be built by the government. Okay, there is only one little problem left about the passive. Let's have a look at that. Take a look at your screen. Columbus spoke Italian, and Columbus sailed to America. Let's try to build passive sentences. Okay, Linda, what is the object in the first sentence?
What did Columbus speak? He spoke Italian. So Italian is the object. And so Italian was spoken by Columbus.
Nice one, Linda. Now, Alberto, what is the object of the second sentence?
What did Columbus sail? I think that sounds very strange.
Yes, can we ask, what did Columbus sail?
I don't think so. We had to ask, where did Columbus sail? But what is the object then?
Is there an object in that sentence?
No, there isn't.
Okay, so Linda, can you start a passive sentence?
We start a passive sentence with the object of the sentence, but here there isn't an object, so we can't build a passive sentence.
Exactly. Can you think of another sentence without an object? Linda?
A lot of people read.
Okay, there is no object, that is true, but do we ever say that?
No, we usually say a lot of people read something, they read newspaper.
Right, and is there an object?
Yes, the newspaper is the object.
Good. So the verb to read usually has an object. We call it a transitive. Passives and objects and lots of information today. Okay, transitive verb. Okay, so the verb to read is a transitive verb because it usually has an object. Okay, Sylvia, can you give me a verb that never has an object?
To sleep, she sleeps a lot.
She sleeps a lot. Isn't a lot the object?
No, we don't ask what does she sleep. It doesn't make sense. But we ask how much does she sleep.
Exactly. So, no object. Alberto?
To rain, it's raining.
Okay, good. Linda?
To smile. She smiles a lot.
Okay, she smiles a lot. Good examples. Now, these verbs we call intransitive verbs because they don't have an object. So an intransitive verb doesn't have an object. Do these last three verbs have a passive form? Sleep, rain, smile.
I don't think so. There is no object.
Exactly. Okay, now let's turn our first sentence into the passive. So we had a lot of people read the newspaper. Okay, this is our active sentence. Sylvia?
The newspaper is read by a lot of people.
Very good. Our passive sentence is the newspaper is read by a lot of people. Okay, here are some more intransitive verbs for you to see. Take a look at your screen. Agree, happen, stay, die, sit, walk, sleep, snow, arrive, and fall. We will practice with these verbs in look and listen.
Look and listen.
I agree with my sister. Something terrible happened yesterday. I will stay here forever. She died last year. He is sitting on the chair.
Read and repeat.
Well, now you know a lot about the passive. Let's go back to the sentences we wrote about Columbus. Some of them have a passive form and others don't. Be careful, there is present, past, and future here. Take a look at your screen. Our active verbs. First sentence, Columbus discovered America. Passive sentence, Sylvia, please.
America was discovered by Columbus.
Good. America was discovered by Columbus. Okay. Next sentence. He drew a map of the world. Easy, Linda.
A map of the world was drawn by him.
Okay, Alberto. Columbus sailed to America.
This one can't be passive.
That's right. Okay, you do the next one. He was from Italy.
That can't be passive.
Oh, you're lucky. Try this one. He spoke Italian.
Okay. Italian was speaken by him. It sounds kind of strange.
It does, but it's correct. Okay, Sylvia, the city of Genoa built a statue for him.
A statue for him was built by the city of Genoa.
Good job. And you do the next one. Italian people love Columbus.
Columbus is loved by Italian people.
Linda, you continue. They are proud of him.
This can't be passive.
Okay, you're right. So let's try the next one. People will always remember Columbus.
Columbus will always be remembered by people.
Good. Now, do we need to say by people?
No, we don't.
Good. Alberto, you do the last one. People will never forget Columbus.
Columbus will never be forgotten.
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 All right, great job, everyone. Now it's time to listen and write.
Listen and write.
Now it's time to listen and write. Listen and write these sentences. Rice is grown in large parts of Asia. The Mona Lisa was painted by Leonardo da Vinci. A new subway tunnel will be built next year. Some important decisions were made by the government. Australia was discovered by Captain Cook. Paper was invented 5,000 years ago. Edison invented electric lights 150 years ago. Our city will build a new theater next year. A new theater will be built next year. The passive was done today. Now check your work. Rice is grown in large parts of Asia. The Mona Lisa was painted by Leonardo da Vinci. A new subway tunnel will be built next year. Some important decisions were made by the government. Australia was discovered by Captain Cook. Paper was invented 5,000 years ago. Edison invented electric lights 150 years ago. Our city will build a new theater next year. A new theater will be built next year. The passive was done today. Now, read the story and answer the questions about it.
Read and answer.
The Czech Republic is a small country in Central Europe. You can fly from one end of the country to the other in less than 2 hours. About 10 million people live there. Until 1989, the Czech Republic was only a part of a bigger country. That country was called Czechoslovakia. In 1989, it was split into 2 parts. The western half was called the Czech Republic. The eastern half was called the Slovak Republic. Different languages are spoken in these 2 countries. The Czech language is similar to Russian, but there is one big difference. Czech is written with Roman letters, but Russian is written with the special alphabet called the Cyrillic alphabet. Czech isn't spoken by many people outside the Czech Republic. The river Vltava flows from the south to the north. The most famous city on the river Vltava is Prague, the capital of the country. It is known for its many historical monuments and is visited by millions of tourists every year. The beautiful Charles Bridge was built in the 14th century. Would you like to visit Prague? You should. It is a wonderful city. Now answer the questions about the reading. Where is Prague? How many people live there? What happened in 1989? Which languages are spoken in those parts? How is the Czech language written? How is the Russian language written? What is the capital city? Where is it? When was the Charles Bridge built? Why should you visit Prague? Now check your answers. Where is Prague? It is in Central Europe. How many people live there? 10 million. What happened in 1989? The country was split into two parts. Which languages are spoken in those parts? Czech and Russian. How is the Czech language written? It is written in Roman letters. How is the Russian language written? It is written in the Cyrillic alphabet. What is the capital city? The capital city is Prague. Where is it? It is on the Vltava River. When was the Charles Bridge built? It was built in the 14th century. Why should you visit Prague? It is a wonderful city. All right, good job today. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Practicing English.
Sam, what ideas do you have on how to prepare for this lesson?
Well, I did something like this a few weeks ago with famous explorers. I tried to take some famous ones like Magellan, Columbus, and Lewis and Clark.
How did the students like the lesson?
It went well. We were practicing sentence and structure. They liked taking new information, some had never heard of Lewis and Clark, for example, and practicing writing active and passive sentences.
So, help me get started. Tell me more about what you did.
Well, for example, we first read about famous explorers who had gone to places in the world that no one else had gone to. Then we practiced writing active sentences. For example, as you know, an active sentence often uses subject, verb, object. We use this sentence for the active. Christopher Columbus discovered the New World in 1492.
Okay, that makes sense so far.
Sure. So then we wrote 10 active sentences about the explorers. We then went back and changed them to the passive.
Yeah, I remember how to do that. You reorder the subject, verb, and object, right?
That's right. Let's see how good you are with doing it yourself. In my explorer sentence, Christopher Columbus discovered the New World in 1492. Now, how would you change it to a passive sentence?
Okay, I think I remember how this is done. In active to passive, you change the object to the subject becomes the object, and the verb might have to change as well.
You're right. So what would the new sentence be?
The New World was discovered by Christopher Columbus in 1492.
Yes, that's it.
Okay, I think that I have that. Now, could you help me with some of these famous inventors?
Sure. Who have you got there?
Well, I have a mix of inventors. Let's try you on some of these.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, who invented the first electric light bulb?
Thomas Edison.
Right. Who invented the first mass-produced cars in America?
That's Henry Ford.
Okay, right again. Who invented the telephone?
Alexander Graham Bell.
Here's the last one. Who invented or designed the most popular computer operating system known as MS-DOS?
That would be Bill Gates.
Okay, Smarty Pants, you got all four.
Now I suppose you want me to help you with the active to passive changes.
Would you?
Sure.
Okay, if the active sentence is, Thomas Edison invented the first electric light bulb, then I think the passive version is, the first electric light bulb was invented by Thomas Edison. Am I right?
Yes, you are. Can you do the others?
All passives. Here I go. The first mass-produced car in America was made by Henry Ford. The telephone was invented by Alexander Graham Bell. MS-DOS, the world's most widely used computer operating system, was invented by Bill Gates. How did I do?
You did great. All of your famous inventors were accurate and also in passive sentences. Well done.
Well, thank you for your help. I think my class will enjoy learning about inventors and the active and passive sentences too.